In the small, quiet town of Willow Creek in Somerset County, the days passed slowly for most of its residents. Children played in the streets, neighbors chatted over fences, and the sun shone gently on the picturesque houses with their white picket fences. But one fateful evening, everything changed. The peace of Willow Creek was shattered when a local farmer, Mr. Thompson, was found dead in his barn. The news spread like wildfire. Whispers filled the town as the sheriff, a tall man named Sheriff Hughes, arrived at the scene with his deputy, Officer Jenna. They both carried serious faces as they stepped out of their car. The barn smelled of hay and something else, something dark. As they entered the barn, they found Mr. Thompson lying on the ground, surrounded by scattered hay. A few pitchforks lay nearby, and it was clear he had not passed peacefully. The sheriff knelt down, examining the victim closely. Jenna took notes on her clipboard, her pencil scratching quickly against the paper. "Who found him?" Sheriff Hughes asked, standing up and glancing around the room. A worried man named Carl, who worked on the Thompson farm, stepped forward. He was shaking, his face pale. "I came to check on him after I didn't see him at the market today," Carl stammered. "He was always there. I just thought." "Easy now, Carl. Did you see anyone around when you came here?" Jenna asked gently, aware of how shaken he was. I didn't see anyone," Carl whispered. He looked at the ground, biting his lip. "But I heard shouting earlier." "Shouting?" Sheriff Hughes raised an eyebrow. "Where did it come from?" "From the direction of the orchard. I thought it was just a couple of raccoons fighting or something." "It's been a long day. I didn't check," Carl replied. The orchard behind the barn was thick with trees, their branches heavy with ripe apples ready for picking. Sheriff Hughes decided it was a good place to search next. As they made their way over, they met a few townsfolk who were drawn by curiosity. Among them were Grace, the town's librarian who had an eye for detail, and Mr. Baxter, an old man who loved to gossip. "Do you know anything about what happened?" Mr. Baxter asked, his eyes wide with intrigue. "We're still investigating," Sheriff Hughes said. "But we appreciate any information." Grace, standing close by, chimed in. "I saw Mr. Thompson arguing with someone a few days ago," she said. "It was near the market, but I didn't catch who it was." "Arguing? Who was he with?" Jenna probed. "I don't know. He was just so upset, waving his hands. The man looked familiar, but I didn't recognize him." Grace shook her head, looking troubled. Sheriff Hughes scratched his chin, piecing together the information. They needed to find out more about this mysterious man. The orchard held more secrets than they realized. It had always been quiet but now seemed dark and tense. As they walked through the trees, they found a broken branch on the ground. It looked recent, maybe from that argument. Nearby was a scarf caught on a low branch, torn and forgotten. Jenna picked it up, her heart racing. It was a deep blue, something that seemed to stand out in the gloomy woods. "That doesn't belong to Mr. Thompson," she noted, wondering who it could belong to. They decided to take the scarf back to town, hoping someone would recognize it. Later that evening, they organized a town meeting at the community hall. The townspeople gathered, buzzing with concern. Sheriff Hughes stood at the front, the scarf in hand. "Has anyone seen this scarf?" he asked, holding it up. The crowd murmured until a young woman named Lily stepped forward. "I think I've seen that before. It belongs to Tom, my brother's friend. He's been acting strange lately." Lily looked worried, glancing around at the others. "Strange how?" Sheriff Hughes asked, pressing for more information. "He's been extra jumpy, always looking over his shoulder. A couple of nights ago, I heard him yelling in his room. I thought something was wrong, but he said he was fine," Lily explained. The sheriff made a note of this. "Where can we find Tom?" "He usually hangs around the old mill," she offered. "But you might find him at the bar down the road." That's where they headed next. The bar was dimly lit, and the sound of laughter filled the air. But when they walked in, the laughter turned to silence. All eyes fell on the sheriff and Jenna. They scanned the room, finally spotting Tom hiding in a corner. Sheriff Hughes approached him. "Tom, we need to talk." Tom's face turned pale. "I didn't do anything," he stammered. "Then why was your scarf found at the scene?" Jenna pressed, lowering her voice but keeping her tone firm. I don't know. I was with Mr. Thompson a few days ago, but it was just business, I swear. We had a land deal, and he was upset about it. But I didn't hurt him," Tom exclaimed, desperation in his eyes. The sheriff and Jenna exchanged glances. It was clear that Tom was hiding something, but they needed more proof. They spent the evening questioning him, piecing together all the information from the townsfolk. Hours later, as the moon hung high in the sky, they returned to the barn one last time. They searched the area again, determined to find more clues. But this time, they discovered something unexpected, a hidden stash of cash under some loose floorboards. "This explains the argument," Sheriff Hughes said, his heart pounding. "Mr. Thompson must have found out about the scam Tom was trying to pull. He wanted to back out. With the pieces coming together, they knew Tom had a motive." The sheriff called for help, and just as dawn broke, they arrested him for the murder of Mr. Thompson. The town of Willow Creek slowly returned to its peaceful state, but the scars of the murder lingered. For many, it was a reminder that darkness could hide in even the quietest of places. And for Sheriff Hughes and Officer Jenna, it would be a case they would never forget.